found in mathematics and offers plethora of vocations to students and general public. Mathematics is part of the cultural heritage of humanity. It is a tool for development and essential for our technologies. There's no doubt about the fundamental role played by mathematics in reinforcing African and equality, one of the two priorities of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. This day is all about remembering what mathematics is for, and particularly how it can be the basis of innovation for sustainable development. We must recognize that mathematics, even in its most theoretical aspect, really concern all of us. Last year, we had a successful program, and today, March 14th, 2022, we have met here once again to commemorate the day with various activities. It is my prayer that we will all cooperate to make the event very successful. What this special occasion unique is the theme for the occasion. Apparently, the same theme is celebrated globally with the aim of using mathematics as a vital tool to address the challenges in the world. The theme Mathematics Unites was chosen to make us understand and witness how mathematics can unite us as people from various disciplines or areas. Mathematics unites stems from the fact that it is a common language or discipline everyone undertakes and common subject in academia to find one another. It also brings light into connections between itself and all sorts of disciplines in the academia. Mathematics are essential part of education, which empowers people and opens new job opportunities. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fact that the world or nature is interconnected. But the problem is, how do we identify these connections and build patterns? One of the possible ways to build patterns from these connections is by mathematics. For instance, what patterns do we observe when we gaze at the stars? When we look at the stars, what patterns do we see? Have you taken time to look at the pattern of the stars with the spiral shape of a snail? What does the pattern tell us? No one has taken time to look at the shape of the stars, the pattern created by the stars with the shape of a snail. Is there a reason why the spiral shape of a snail is so similar to the shape of the galaxy of stars? What do we observe as we watch days turn into nights and night turns into day? What do we observe as we watch the seasons come and go? How were the days and nights assigned figures? For instance, why is it that 9 a.m. is morning and 9 p.m. is night? All these things have become real as a result of the discovery of patterns among them. After the discovery of patterns, of these patterns, what mathematicians does is that they use patterns, they quantify the patterns, and we can see what we are observing now. That is why we can say that day we give it AM and night we give it PM. All these things as a result of the work mathematics. Mathematics gives us way to understand patterns, to quantify relationships, and to predict future. It also helps us to understand the world. We use the world to understand mathematics. For scientists to understand these patterns, they need to turn to mathematics. They quantify these patterns and use mathematics techniques to determine them, hoping to discover the underlying cause of nature rhythms and regularities. Health officers, disaster organization, geologists, geographers, and other expertise are able to identify areas where disasters occur. However, with mathematics, they are able to estimate the death tolls from natural disaster. Without mathematics, you cannot tell that we lost 50 people or 20 people or 30 people. It's with mathematics. For other expertise, what they can do is to be able to identify the areas. But as to how to tell how many people are gone, it's by mathematics. The amount of aid that might be necessary to help in the aftermath and the number of people who will be displaced are all as a result of mathematics. Mathematics is the key to understanding many of the events of the world. We will remain an innovation society and economy if we unite mathematics with all the subjects. Many world events and phenomena are unpredictable and can only be described using mathematics. So, a globally focused program needs to include mathematics. Mathematics is applicable to nearly every industry today, from science and technology to business, retail, healthcare, and etc. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, most students have conceived the idea that mathematics is a difficult subject and that there's no readily job available for it. I beg to differ. Some students even say that mathematics is not useful for future careers and that there's a lack of what? Access to opportunities. Today, Mr. Chairman, permit me to inform students that mathematics is one of the subjects that have top career opportunities. To become good scientists, engineer, astronauts, data scientists, investment banker, chartered accountant, data analyst, etc., one needs mathematics. Mathematics develops you into two career paths: academia and industry. In the industry, you can work as auditor, computer programmer, financial analyst, medical student, statistician, economics, etc. So as in academia, you can be a lecturer, teacher, and rise up to a professor. Mathematicians have strongly developed logical skills and decomposition skills. They are very organized and they can easily attack big picture problems. Mr. Chairman, I will end my address by saying that truly, I say unto you, there are many job opportunities, or there are many job postings for mathematics. We can confirm that indeed, when we look at the theoretical mathematics, we can say that there isn't any job for only theoretical mathematics, just like other programs. But surely, I say that many jobs are available for mathematicians who have the ability to apply mathematics to solve many problems. On this note, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you all for making it possible to attend this grand occasion, and I pray that we all compete and make this event very successful. May God bless the Department of Mathematical Science. May God bless you, Matt, and may God bless Dan. I thank you all, and you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, HOD. So what we'll do is that when I say IDM 2022, you respond Mathematics Unite. Can we do that? IDM 2022. Oh, are you sure you are mathematicians? IDM 2022. Are you sure you can be solving mathematics questions with this calm? Are you very sure? IDM 2022. This one is very, very better. Maybe moving forward, we can differentiate it to make it very big. Yeah, thank you. We would, for such a program, we will need somebody to study affairs. So at this juncture, what we would do is that we would call Miss Samuela Boedi to introduce the chairman for this occasion. Please, can we give her a round of applause as she comes?
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, lecturers, students, all other protocol duly observed, good morning. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the chairman for this year's edition of International Day of Mathematics, IDM. Our chairman is a distinguished and internationally acclaimed scholar and a business-oriented academic who has provided dedicated services for many years. He rose to the rank of an associate professor in the area of electrical and electronic engineering. His practical training and academic experience has given him the opportunity to work with electrical, mining, and allied companies worldwide. He worked as a member of the National Accreditation Board for Electrical and Electronic Engineering Division from 2005 to 2006. In these same years, he was an external examiner for the Electrical and Electronic Engineering Department at Takoradi Polytechnic, now known as Takoradi Technical University. He has several publications in journals, conference proceedings, and books in his credits. He is a graduate member of the Ghana Institute of Engineers and also a member of the Institution of Engineering and Technology. As a leader and a manager, he has held many positions such as head of department, university exams coordinator, and a lot more at the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation and a clap, let's welcome the Dean of Faculty of Engineering of the University of Mines and Technology, Associate Prof. Christian Amuzubi. You are welcome, Prof.
Now, please sit down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mine, because all of you are wearing yours. Thank you very, very much. IDM 2022. IDM 2022. IDM 2022. Mathematics Oseye. Mathematics, mathematics, oh say yay. Maso, ye, maso, oh say yay. Now I've gingered you up, and that's my job as the chairman. Yeah. In fact, it's an honor for me to be standing in front of this crowd, from our kids to all the great guys you can see around. You all look beautiful, and we are happy to have you here. I am particularly happy to see our kids here from various schools. Maybe if it is not because of IDM 2022, some of you may not have the opportunity to be here in this beautiful edifice. But today, mathematics has brought you here. Mathematics has brought you to this auditorium that you have been seeing outside, but you can never enter. Today you are here. So I want to congratulate all of you for being here, and to say that with mathematics you can do a lot more. Now, without mathematics, we couldn't have organized this event, because we needed to plan, and with every planning, you are told to go and bring the budget, isn't it? Every CEO will say, oh, you go ahead and plan. But finally, it is the budget that will speak. And the budget is mathematics, figures, isn't it? So, mathematics is everything in life, everything. Okay, kids, today we're supposed to start at 9, but we have not started at 9. So mathematics has beaten us. You see, yes, I know there are excuses. We can all give all the excuses. But when it comes to mathematics, 1 plus 1 is going to be always 2. Unless you start doing mathematics to a level that we want you to reach, then 1 plus 1 will no longer be 2. Do you believe that? But for now, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 4 now. For you, for the kids that we have here. Okay? Now, we have spent a lot of time already. So, and I will have to give my closing remarks. So I want to hear more, and also understand that pi is 3.14, and because of that, the mathematics day is what? Third, okay? I mean the third month, and then the 14th day. So 3.14, the pi day. I never knew this. All right? But because we have mathematicians in this university, we all know this today. Are we not privileged? Are we not? So let's clap for mathematics. You can do it better. Thank you very much. So let's get seated and listen to more revelations. Okay, we want to listen to more revelations. So let's all keep our seats, and if you want to go out peacefully and come back in peacefully. It's all mathematics. Okay, your steps is all mathematics. The way you move is all mathematics. If you don't balance, you fall. So you see, mathematics is everywhere. So, Madam MC, I think I will sit for now and watch all proceedings so that I can give a good closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman, for accepting the offer to be the chairman for this occasion. Thank you so much. IDM 2022. I have a good news for you. We have a special guest of honor in the house. You didn't look excited. I think you should clap for that. We have a special guest of honor. And that special guest of honor will be introduced by Miss Mashabua. So Miss Mashabua will introduce the special guest of honor for today. Before the introduction, I want to acknowledge some few sponsors. Wilhelm Engineering, Building Engineering and Civil Contractors. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, HODs present, ladies and gentlemen. I have a singular honor to introduce the special guest of honor for today's occasion. He is an economist, a senior lecturer, and a politician. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the University of Cape Coast, Master of Philosophy in Economics from University of Cape Coast, Master of Philosophy in Economics of Technology from Northeastern University, Boston, and a PhD in Economics from University of Cape Coast. He is a senior lecturer at the Department of Economic Studies, School of Economics, University of Cape Coast, Ghana. His areas of specialization include environmental and resource economics, with emphasis on climate economics, development economics, and microeconomics, where he has a number of research articles in some reputable journals to his credit. He was the Hall Master for Atlantic Hall from 2018 to 2020. Hallmark of his career include mentoring and interdisciplinary collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. Isaac Drasmani, the Municipal Chief Executive of Christian Winnie Valley Municipality. Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you so much. I think we can do it better. We would kindly take an address from our special guest of honor. Doc, please can you address us? Thank you.
Honorable Benkesi MC for Takwa, all protocols observed. Students, give me a wave. Yes, thank you very much. Do you have Tascos in the house? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're all welcome to this important program. The first time I got a call, I didn't know what it was about, because mathematics has been everything of our lives. And they say, "Oh, come," and then World Mathematics Day. World Mathematics Day. Then what are we coming to talk about? Because mathematics is everything, Prof. Because if you look at the discipline and everything, mathematics is all about daily lives. But I will try to highlight some few things, and especially my students here, where you are beginning to understand the concept. I had a Nigerian friend that normally when we are doing some calculations, and then you say find X, I say that's money. You're always finding X. Where has X gone to? Almost every day you are finding X. So what at all is the problem about X? Right. Which means that the mathematics that we have studied over the period has actually given us some level of understanding and some level of critical thinking and logical reasoning. These are two critical thinking and logical reasoning. Because if you look at it, those days when we started learning mathematics, now things, I'm getting confused about the syllabus. I started as a science student, a pure science student, where I did all the science courses, including geography and economics. So when I got to sixth form in TASCO, I did mathematics, statistics, geography, and economics. Now when I got to the university, I mean, it was so easy for me to handle the concept of economics, simply because of the mathematical background that I had from my senior high school, or those times we call it secondary schools, and sixth form and all of that. Now, if you look at some of the programs that we have now, especially the business school or the business class, I seriously have a problem with it, because if you are not able to enter into any of the universities through the businesses classes, then it becomes very difficult, because your course combination is such that it gives you just opportunity to enter business classes. But there are some secondary schools who add additional mathematics. They've added additional mathematics to the business class or the business courses. So it means even if you fail to enter the business, you can even enter social sciences and you can progress on your life. I wanted to be a medical doctor. You know, most of the time when you go to the university, then you think about what you want to be, you join friends. I wanted to be a medical doctor. Then when I completed Form 5, I failed in chemistry. So the question is, what next? But because I did geography and economics in addition to the mathematics, I was able to move on to the level that I am now. So if you look at mathematics in general, mathematics play a very key role in helping us to take certain decisions in our lives. Now, if you consider, let's say, a problem solving, the interesting thing is that mathematicians don't talk a lot. A good mathematicians, they are always precise and concise. Just simply because if you are solving a problem, your concentration level in mathematics is higher than all the other subjects. Because if you are calculating, it gives you your full concentration to think about whatever problem is ahead of you. Most of the times when I finish calculating my usual mathematics and I take the reading courses, by next 30 minutes, 1 hour, I'll be reading but thinking about different things altogether. But when it comes to mathematics, you cannot be calculating mathematics while you are thinking about something else. So I used to sit down and calculate mathematics till daybreak. Because if you have any problem that you are solving, so I always say that a mathematician is a problem solver. Because you always consider the problems ahead of you and then you start thinking about how you are going to devise means to solve these problems. Now, if you look at our level here, most of the time before we even enter secondary school, you have already have that kind of mindset that mathematics is difficult. But I want to assure you, at this age, you better sit down and confront it once and all. Because if you run, you can't continue to run forever. Automatically, throughout your academic career in your life, you have to stop one day and face it. People started running away from mathematics class and then try to, move away from those courses. I want to be a student. And then when they finish their first degree and they want to do masters, then when they enter the class, then of course outline statistics is there. Where are you running to? This time around, you need to stop and face it. Because mathematics has been part of our academic career. It has been part of all the courses. I would normally say that is the foundation of all the disciplines. Mathematics is the foundation of all the disciplines. Because you can't mention any discipline without detaching mathematics from that particular discipline. Because if you are talking about social sciences and all the physical sciences and all, mathematics plays a key role. Because if you look at even the economics, at the point that we started looking at the econometrics, when people were struggling, some of us, because of our mathematical background, you can even sit down and read some programs and then understand it on your own. Just simply because the mathematics foundation that we had was very strong. And it actually keeps you moving in any discipline. Sometimes when you come to these good mathematicians, somebody they say that sometimes they don't speak good English. But they are very careful in selecting their words. Just simply because they don't want to talk too much. Yes, I love mathematics because if they give you a question and you score 20 over 20, nobody can deduct a marks. But when they give you describe, somebody say the statement that I don't even like, or they briefly explain, how brief is that? Then when you finish, the person will sit down and that particular marks that will be awarded to you is subjective. Depends on your handwriting, depends on how fast you can write, and it depends on, sometimes they don't even listen to your line of argument. If you have a bad handwriting, then you are in trouble. Then the person will sit down and decide to give you any marks. But when it is mathematics, when the answer is 2, it's 2. And if the marks is 5, it's 5. You can't take anything out of that. That gives you the power of mathematics. Now, if you look at some of the things that mathematics can help us to understand, we're saying that learning maths is good for the brain. It's good for the brain. When I was in the university, those days, anytime that I want to read any course or any subject, first of all, I solve my 2-3 questions first. Because the moment you solve your questions first, then it opens out your brain to do all the other readings. And when you take anything that you are reading, and because the mathematics has given you that kind of thinking, you can easily absorb other courses that you read. So mathematics is very key in terms of the brains. Then it also helps us with time. Timing is very important when it comes to mathematics. It's all of us. Timing, how do you time yourself in terms of how you discipline yourself? It also helps you in your finances. Now, all the financials, since that we talk about appraisals and all of that, the bottom line is mathematics. Because you need to put everything together to be able to explain. And if you don't have that kind of critical mind, mathematical thinking, it becomes very difficult for you to understand or to analyze all the financial analysts that, and if you don't have a good mathematical background, some of these people that they call themselves financial analysts, whatever, it won't work. Because everything that you do here based on their level and your thinking of mathematics. It even helps you. You know, the interesting that I saw it somewhere and they say mathematics helps you to cook better. Then I started thinking, how do that also help you to cook better? It means that even the measurement of the items that you use to cook, you need to do some mathematics. Looking at the pot of soup and the salt, how would you put it in there? And I saw that because if you exceed certain level, you know the consequences. So even the mathematics that you put together to put your ingredients together becomes, part of you. Normally, when you go to the market, something that I appreciate so much, and our old women who are in the market, they are sitting in a very big shop, but the moment you put 3 or 4 items together, then they will give you the price right away. Then you see the young girls these days, either they will pick their phone or they will pick their calculator, and then they will start punching. Even if you give them money, the balance, they need to go and subtract first before they give you the balance. Meanwhile, this old lady there that we feel that he has not been to classroom before will be able to put together all the items that you pick, tell you the amount, and then they will give you the change. And if you want, you can verify, and you realize that they are exact in terms of their calculation. So the mathematics helps us so many things in terms of our finances. And then practically every course uses mathematics in some way. That is very important. All the courses that you can think about. If you mention any course, then I'll tell you how mathematics comes in. There are so many things that we do, we analyze, especially when it comes to social sciences. People go there, we want to do qualitative data, you collect your qualitative data. At the end of the day, you come back to statistics to analyze the qualitative information. You can't run away from that. So there are certain things, certain indicators in statistics that is quite critical in terms of learning of mathematics. And it also helps you to understand the world better. Yes, all the world that, because if you come to the mathematics, it can simplify the world into a very small place for you, so that at least you'll be able to understand, interpret, especially when you look at some of the symbols that we have used in mathematics. There are so many of them. But the two that has actually suffered is X and Y. Either you look at X, or you look at, when you are learning mathematics, either you look at X and then what? And Y. X and Y has suffered so much. But these two symbols has also propelled us to understand so many things. Sometimes when they write equation, those times that were in lower forms, they say Y is equals to A plus BX. And they say A is constant, just constant. And then I was telling my students, the A there is even more important than the X, because there are a lot of things in there that you need to discover. So what is in the A? You just don't say that it's constant and then you move on. What do you mean by constant? Because there are some other variables that you may think that should be able to affect your variables, but that you assume that. So those are the variables that are very important when you are doing some of these calculations. But once you start thinking about some of these things, it opens your minds for you to actually appreciate the world around you. Then we're saying that mathematics can also make you more popular. Yes, sometimes if you're a mathematician, if you are in a class, and then you are the only one who understands mathematics, you have a lot of friends. And some of us have a typical example and a typical, friends. I remember when I got to the university in 1999 at the University of Cape Coast, and I did ECOMAS. We got somebody who has done mathematics in A level, and you are talking about economic mathematics. I sat in the class and they brought the questions. Within some few minutes, I finished. And when they marked it, I got 60 over 60. Then all the exams. So before we finish the academic year, I got 100% for ECOMAS. Because we are just only applying mathematics in economics. So those ones were not mathematics our orientation and where we're coming from. So the lecturer, who is even now my mentor, my senior, they brought my script to class. Who is that money? Somebody who is from a village somewhere, Pristia, where you don't know, where have I done to this man to call my name? A class of about 350. And before he shown my script in class, after the lecture, my study group, the class, were about 35. Then I was teaching mathematics here and there with my colleagues, and some of them are all over. And they are giving me a lot of I have a lot of friends. And most of them were all policemen. Some are now the regional commanders. Now some are in Takrady here. Some came to Pristia. A whole lot of people. And through mathematics, I got to know all these people. And now if I need any problem, when I'm driving, policeman, you cannot arrest me. The moment you arrest me, I give you my passport, my driving license, and then drive on. You start searching for me and bring my driving license. All right. because these are power of mathematics, because they didn't know me anywhere. All right. So the moment you are in class and then you are good in mathematics, you find yourself in the midst of a lot of people who can also help you to move on. And we're saying that mathematics can also help you, for a good sale. Even if you are going to buy something, and because you can do your calculations, you see, everything around you is mathematics. Even if you are going to buy something, you need to compare prices. How are you doing your comparison? How are you moving from one point to the other? How much are you paying? There are a lot of things that you need to consider when you want to move from that direction. Then we are saying that it is also a universal language in terms of mathematics. It is a language that we can all use to understand the world around us. As my juniors and then people who now aspire to go on the calendar, I want to entreat all of you here as students to take your mathematics course very seriously. Because in the university, the moment you finish, the first thing we look for is mathematics and English. Maths and English. If you don't pass mathematics and English, you can't progress on your academic calendar. Sometimes some people bring results to me. Doc, can you help us? The first question I ask is, what is the maths and English? For your electives, social sciences, social studies, and then integrated science, it's optional. You can take any of them. Then your 3 core, then that will move you to the next level. Mathematics is not difficult, but what you need to do, you need constant practicing. It's not subject that you can read. Now, if you go through some of the books, the important thing is that you read the chapter, you go through the examples, you work some of them, then you see that there are always questions at the back of every book. There's no way that you read through the book and you'll be able to solve the questions just outright. What you need to do is that you read the book more than 3 times. Before you come to the 4th one, you'll be able to solve all the questions at the back of the book, because all the questions that are the back of the book were set from the same chapter. And you'll be able to resolve some of the issues around some of the things that you find it very difficult as far as mathematics is concerned. Now, the department, this initiative is very important, and as far as we are here, possibly we will also continue to support the department so that the mathematics education within especially our area here, we may also increase it to the next level where our students can also participate in maths quizzes to also win some award across the region and especially the municipality. I want to entreat you to study hard and then make sure that at the end of the day you come out with flying colors. But what I want to leave you is that a good mathematician is a problem solver. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dasmani. IDM 2022. Indeed, mathematics unites. I want to also introduce a few dignitaries in our midst. We have the Registrar of the University of Mines and Technology here. We want to acknowledge Mr. M.K. Okran. Thank you for coming so much. Thank you. We also want to welcome the Pro-Vice Chancellor of UMAT, Professor Anthony Simons. Prof, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Additionally, we want to also welcome Goldfields Schools Complex. We want to welcome Bright Benwick Academic School. We also want to welcome Dadrin Schools Complex and Peace Royal International School. Thank you so much for coming. We want to take a musical interlude as Mr. Kwame Dampare prepares to give us a poetry recital. So, Kwa, over to you. We want to take a musical interlude. I think our choir needs some encouragement. Can we give them a round of applause?
Thank you, choir, for that musical interlude. For your information, this choir is St. Andrew's Catholic Church Choir. St. Andrew's Catholic Church Choir. Thank you very much. We want to invite Mr. Kwame Dampare to give us a poetry recital on Mathematics Unites. Appreciate him. He's a poet all the way from UCC just to come to this program. A renowned poet for that matter. Your clapping is not encouraging. It doesn't show that we are united.
Thanks so much, MC. Not long ago, Ghana celebrated independence. A poem about some of the applications of mathematics. And because most people are afraid of maths, I will conclude with a motivational poem. That's never give up. To encourage our young ones here not to give up in mathematics. So even as you are sitting down, still tune and listen. Even as the day dissolves into the night, and the night dissolves into the day, darkness seems to swallow light until the daylight stands so bright. Even so, mathematics is our boss, hooking to the X and Y cross. Hooking to the X and Y cross. The positive and the negative answers appear like profit and loss. If your addiction is addition, subtraction is multiplication, and you are addicted or allergic to division, then mathematics needs your attention beyond passion, else it will put you into tension in every section. The essential things that are necessary in these climatic times to live and to survive are air, water, mathematics surrounded with statistics. This is automatic because this world is not static in ethics along its schematic, but rather systematic and pragmatic, intertwined with fanatics in this problematic arithmetic. Mathematics is useful in everyday life, penetrating like knives, developing patterns to foster distribution. Mathematics unite us. Mathematics is the elephants, give the elephant support in sports. Yes, it gives the elephant support in sports. When descending from the sky, open the parachute, else you die. In simple harmonic boating, land safely after differentiating the second order equation. Employ Laplace functions to analyze room ventilation, heating, and air conditioning in every situation. Even as union sets bring us together, even so mathematics unite us in every discipline site. Looking at the pictorial in my tutorials, 0 factorial in area is 1. Of course, mathematics unite us to be 1. Because maths unite us to be 1, my brothers and sisters, don't be afraid of maths. Don't give up on maths. Never give up. Never give up. A mantra to tap. Life is full of ups and downs. But when the downs come around, don't be perturbed, never frown. Be bold and put on a smiling crown. It is true, the night is pregnant with sorrows. Yet, the morning will abort its arrows. Believe you are a future hero. The future may not be today, but tomorrow. Because the colors of life is not unique, and your time will never sneak. I want to give you a gist. Add it to your list. It is time to right wrong. Just be bold and stay strong. The night is in, but it won't be long. Stand up and be counted. To you, a brighter future is promised. Sometimes the step know not destination, but it doesn't call for resignation. For success is not in stagnation. Never give up. Press on for progression. You'll be hard pressed on every side, yet not crash. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Strike down, but not destroyed. Arise and move on. Wishing to move on from bottom to top, wanting to move on for failure to stop, then shun the peripheral allurements, for they are not your goals adornments. Use your weakness to shoot to the mountains, or better still, change your weakness gettings. Employ the code of champions. Till the last drop of my blood, I will never say die. When the going get tough in maths, the tough get going, they say. Pinching the veins is the bragging nature of discouragement. But hey, wait a moment. You get a dream to live, a world to touch, a life to impact. Brave the storms to leave a mark. Die a mantra or leave a shack. With the right mindset in mathematics, you can achieve your target set. So never give up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is a very resounding applause. Thank you. In fact, mathematics will make you popular, just like our special guest of honor said. That's a very nice poetry. Thank you. We would proceed to take some fraternal greetings. We will start from the University of Mines and Technology, and we will humbly ask our Pro VC to do that for us. Please, a round of applause for Professor Anthony Simmons.
Honorable MC Takwan Soye Municipal Assembly, Honorable Kessie, Honorable MC Christia Soye, Dr. Lesiman, Honorable Dean Registrar of the University, Dean FOE, HOD, Mathematical Sciences, all other protocol observed. It is a great day to be here with you to celebrate the International Day of Mathematics. Now we would want to ask ourselves, what is this day for? And then we say that it gives us the opportunity to explain and celebrate the essential role that mathematics and mathematical education play in the breakthrough of science and technology. It also improves the quality of life. It gives empowerment to women and children, and it contributes in the achievement of sustainable development goal of the 2030 agenda, SDG 17 of the United Nations. Now, as the Honorable MC, the guest speaker, said, mathematics is everywhere, and I surely believe that is what also God used, because we are all aware that He created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. So He employed the aspect of arithmetic in, calculating the days. Now, we also say that mathematics plays a very important and central role in everything in our life, from helping us build our homes to actually programming computers and creating algorithms. Mathematics play a key role in running the world, either smoothly, on, or in a devastating manner. Why do I say smoothly or devastating manner? All the good things we have, the cars, the planes, the ships, the way they run, and everything their design is based on calculations. Unfortunately, the atomic bombs, the nuclear bombs, the guns are also designed employing some aspect of mathematics. So what I want us to, bear in mind as we say that mathematics help us create or do whatever we want, let us employ it in a positive way. As it helps us in programming, let's program so that the world will be a better place. But we shouldn't use it in scam issues, in duping people and bombing our neighbors. I would want to pause here and thank the Faculty of Engineering for, and in that matter, Department of Mathematical Sciences for organizing this wonderful meeting. I would want the young ones here to note that mathematics isn't that difficult as we perceive. But the issue is that when you have a challenge in mathematics, approach somebody who can help you. I quite remember that in the primary school, we had two young ladies amongst us. They were so tiny but very smart. One of them is Mrs. Dr. Florence Alice, the wife of former Vice Chancellor K University. And so we were in class and, they were twins. So these tiny girls, would always be first. So from class 1, they were first, 3 terms. Class 2, the same. Such that before the second semester, the second term exams, I went to church, Star of the Sea, and right from the Mass, I moved on to the temple for St. Anthony. I sat down there and I said, my name, help me in these exams. I prayed because I was wondering, why are these tiny girls always beating us? So I came home, and I'm somebody who used to be at the kitchen. My mom had only a girl, and the rest were boys, 7. So you have to cook for yourself. Other than that, you'll be hungry. But that very Sunday, I didn't go to the kitchen. I went straight into my room, picked my book, and then started learning. The following day, we went to market, Takrady Market. I'm a market boy. And behind my mom's, store, I was with my books, still reading. Lo and behold, that term I became first, and I was first until we completed school. You see, so it comes with what? Determination, persistence. And I quite remember in class 5, we were treating the subject long division. And the first assignment was given, I got it wrong. Second assignment, I got it wrong. And so it was a time for break. We wanted to go and play football. Then my teacher called me, Mrs. Abrodope, called me and said, I don't understand why you are getting this wrong. You are not going for the break. And so she sat me down, took me through how it is done, gave me another example, I got it right. Second example, I got it. Third example, I got it, and now you can go. And then I think that was my breakthrough in mathematics. And from there, math became, my best subject through up to 6th form to the university, such that I remember in 2nd year or 3rd year, I didn't write for mathematical exams because I was solving almost every assignment, such that before exams, they gave me A, that don't come to exams. So what am I saying? The teachers should also be vigilant. look at the kids. If they have problems, call them, help them out. And you know, it also goes to our lecturers. Let us identify the problems of individuals and help them. Without Mrs. Aprodope, I don't think I would have been here. And so, thank you to math teachers, thank you to Dean and then HOD. We are grateful to our guests, the MCs, and everyone. We thank you and have a wonderful celebration.
Thank you so much, VC. We would also take another greeting from the MC of the Takwa Swahili Municipal Assembly, the person of Honorable Benjamin Kessin. After him, we will take a poetry recital from Gertrude Kujo and Vanessa Brabi of Peace Royal International School, so they can prepare now.
IDM 2022. IDM 2022. IDM 2022. Professor Chairperson, my colleague, MC, and a brother, Dr. Isaac Dasmani, all protocol duly observed. Just as the word is calling for unity, mathematics is uniting us, and I'm grateful for the team. It is only mathematics that will unite us, because mathematics created the world. God called for things to happen, and things happened mathematically. Mathematics is orderliness. So when there's order, there is peace, and certainly there will be unity. I also recall my days in the village. Fortunately for me, I've cited somebody who taught me mathematics somehow in my community dumping. Mr. Kofi, Amir Kofi, I've seen you around. Hello, are you here? Okay, that is him. Indeed, mathematics will make you popular. In my community dumping, when we go on vacation, that man I just introduced to you was so popular because he was able to teach mathematics, even though he was a musician. And I want to tell you that music is mathematics. Just as the choir is singing, if they lose a beat, there will be discord. So mathematics is orderliness and mathematics is music. I am saying this because we all know that mathematics is everything. Mathematics is skill. Mathematics gives employment. I am here to hear that we have had enough mathematicians even for our schools. In my days at Tasco, you are here. Yeah. Very soon we celebrate our anniversary. Dog, we have to support our school though. In my days in Tasco, we never had a permanent mathematics teacher. We never had one, not when I was in school. They come and the next term they are no more. Either they have found a new job or they have left us. It tells you that there is scarcity in mathematics. Mathematicians are very scarce. That is why they are popular when we find one. So take mathematics seriously. and you always find the jobs. But there is one thing that I also want to inquire from the mathematicians. I am not one. We struggle to pass. Some we have to write an object and so to pass. But I see this mystery with mathematics, just as creation is still a mystery. Why not the mathematicians explain the mathematical jargons in the language we understand? In my community dumping, when the community gather, and there's something called accountability. Sometimes the community meets and then people are asked to come and render account on their stewardship. If you come and you are not able to render the account to the satisfaction of the community members, what's it? I'm sure you might have heard some of these phrases. What does it mean? It means that Bentum is not able to do the mathematics. Many a times, the terms, the jargons, the terminologies are such that you hear it and you want to run away. What is that? Matrix. What is that? In those days, there was something called global maths. That is my what is global about mathematics? And then they will do those angles, and you see Russia and Ukraine are in it. So if you do global maths, they will tell you where Russia is located and where Ukraine is. So you understand why they are not sitting together. Professor Chair, ladies and gentlemen, mathematicians should bring the terms down to our level so that we don't fear you. I believe the students want to know mathematics because without it you can't enter or climb the academic ladder. But help us to demystify mathematics so that all of us can venture and be employed. The assembly, as in Takwanswa Municipal Assembly, would like to support this program next year. So the organizers must formally inform us and tell us the areas of needs so we can come in and support next year. Thank you very much for the opportunity to meet you.
Thank you, Honorable. Before we take the greetings from Anglo Gold Ashanti Drapum Limited, we would invite Gertrude and Vanessa to give us a poetry recital. Gertrude and Vanessa, are you around? Please, can we clap for them as they come? Can we keep encouraging them as they come with a clap? Yeah. The steps are highly differentiated, so they are taking their time. Exactly.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. We are excited to talk to you about the application of mathematics in agriculture. For a start, my name is Vanessa Nyako Brabi.
And my name is Gertrude Kujo.
The application of mathematics in agriculture. Agriculture is the practice of cultivating plants and livestock. It is the science, art, or practice of cultivating the soil, producing crops, and raising livestock in varying degrees. The preparation and marketing of the resulting product. It is a great fact that agriculture cannot do away with mathematics. Mathematics aids agriculture in so many ways. This write-up seek to delve into mathematics in agriculture. To set the ball rolling, Mathematics in agriculture helps in the calculation of various fertilizer content. With some help from mathematics, farmers are able to calculate the amount of fertilizer to be applied on a crop. With this help, crops flourish and need not to compete for the little nutrients in the soil, since enough fertilizer has been applied on the crop. The calculation of various fertilizer content helps the farmer to stop the application of too much fertilizer, which may eventually lead to the destruction of the crop. This help from mathematics in agriculture is really important. It also helps the farmer to know the sizes of lands and many more. For example, liters times 3.785 is equal to 1 gallon, and hectares times 2.47 is equal to 1 acre. Knowing these common units helps to calculate for other units which are not familiar, and it also helps farmers to avoid being cheated, since they know of all the basics of units through measurement.
Secondly, mathematics has enabled farming to be economically efficient and has increased productivity. Farmers are able to use mathematics as a system of organization to effectively utilize their time and manage their money. Farmers use numbers every day for a variety of tasks, from measuring and weighing to land making. Furthermore, mathematics has enabled farmers to use mathematical skills to estimate the seed amounts needed, the cost to plant their crops based on a cultivable land, the cost to purchase tools or equipment needed, and make payment for the various purchases. Again, mathematical skills has enabled farmers to be able to determine the shapes and sizes of a land. How can a farmer know the length, breadth, and height of a field to be used? Of course, mathematics has enabled them to know the basic formulas which can be used to calculate for the side of the field to be used. Lastly, mathematical application can enhance agricultural development in so many ways. Through simple measurements, farmers are able to calculate for the number of hectares to be cultivated per annum, his loss and profit margin per annum. In a nutshell, mathematics, it is clear without a doubt that mathematics play an integral role in agriculture because it has helped to make farming easier and economically efficient and has also increased productivity over the years. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's mathematics in agriculture. I want to say that this program is proudly sponsored by Wilhelm Building Engineering and Civil Contractors, Anglo Gold Ashanti Edrapem Limited, Short Body Engineering, and Dennis Darko, who is the manager of Carbank. Because today is Monday, and we know our honorables have quite a busy schedule, they have asked that we humbly excuse them because they have other things that will need their attention. So, Mr. Chairman, if you would permit, they will have asked permission. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, sirs. Okay, so we will take our fraternal greeting from Anglo Gold Ashanti Edrapem Limited, and it's going to be given by Mr. Richard Amwako Ansong, who is the Senior Officer for Communications. Please, can we give him a round of applause as he comes? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our dear MC. IDM 2022. Oh, I can't feel you. IDM 2022 All right, great. Indeed, mathematics unites. Mr. Chairman, Head, Department of Mathematics, faculty members, and students of this great university, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. All right, I bring you greetings from our Managing Director, Mr. Samuel Boachipobi, who is an alumnus of this great university, and also from our Senior Manager Sustainability, Mr. Stephen Ajay, who would have loved to be here, but for an equally important engagement, has asked me to step in for him. So on behalf of management, employees, and contractors of Anglo Gold Ashanti Juapin Mine, let me say that it is a great honor for us to join in the commemoration of this year's International Day of Mathematics, dedicated to celebrating the importance of mathematics and its essential role in human development. Kudos to the hardworking team for putting together this program. Ladies and gentlemen, as the earlier speakers alluded to, since 2020, 14th March is globally observed as International Day of Mathematics to encourage, support, and assist international mathematics activities and further development of mathematics, as well as to showcase the fundamental role of mathematics in the achievement of the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals agenda. The celebration of the International Day of Mathematics is therefore vital in addressing the challenges in areas such as climate change, energy, environmental issues, sustainable development, and artificial intelligence to improve the quality of life in both the developed and developing worlds. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Julia Nestrova, a graduate student from the University of Ottawa in Canada, who actually proposed this year's theme, he settled on Mathematics Unites to signal that it is a common language we all have and a common subject with which to find one another. Indeed, one cannot deny the fact that everybody uses mathematics in one form or the other, whether as a housewife, a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, a businessman, a farmer, or a miner. Mathematics teaches us multiple problem-solving skills, like equations or computations, which help us to improve the quality of life of people. We simply cannot do without mathematics in education, banking, mining, finance, health, transport, telecommunications, or any sector of the economy. I therefore applaud the Department of Mathematical Sciences for this great initiative, which also serves as a platform to raise public awareness on the importance of mathematics education to the improvement of human lives. Ladies and gentlemen, as a mine, we are committed to ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promotion of lifelong learning opportunities for all in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDG 4, and therefore proud to be associated with this noble cause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, given the significant contributions of mathematics to Ghana's socio-economic development and to demonstrate our commitment to bridging the gap between the number of students offering mathematics-related courses and other subjects, this year, more than 90% of our scholarship was awarded to students pursuing STEM-related programs at the tertiary level, out of which 50% was reserved for females. I think we deserve a round of applause. Again, as part of our basic education improvement program, we have demonstrated continuous support for improved educational standards through the provision of infrastructure and other teaching and learning materials to improve the quality of teaching and learning in our host communities. Ladies and gentlemen, as the renowned German mathematician David Hilbert said, mathematics knows no races or geographic boundaries. For mathematics, the cultural world is one country. So while we do our part as a mining company, we will urge you, our dear students, for whom this important occasion has been set aside. We want to urge all of you to take full advantage of the opportunities presented and encourage you to pursue mathematics-related courses and remain focused to achieve your full potentials. Once again, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to quickly remind you that if you need a place of convenience, just talk to the ushers and they will show you where to make yourself comfortable. At this time, I'm sure you have a lot of questions in your mind pertaining to mathematics. How do I overcome the fear of mathematics? What are the applications? And many more. So we want to zoom into question time where we have a panelist who address such questions for us. So as we are preparing to invite the panelists to come and address our questions, we want to take a musical interlude from the St. Andrew's Catholic Church Choir, whilst we have some kids also to demonstrate to us how united we are through mathematics. So St. Andrew Catholic Church Choir kindly take us in a short musical interlude whilst the panelists get ready to address our questions for us. Wherever Mami Boama is, kindly draw close here to facilitate this section for us. Please, shall we humbly be upstanding whilst we take the next music? We need to be upstanding with all humility. Mathematics unite, so let's be upstanding. Please, shall we be seated? A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. This just to demonstrate that mathematics unites all of us. We have engineers, nurses, the security, all of them, farmers, make use of mathematics. Thank you very much, St. Andrew Catholic Church Choir. This morning, we have one of our panelists in our midst. We should have done the introduction long ago. He's in the person of Dr. Kwesi Ano. He is the health manager for Anglo Gold Ashanti. Doc, please, if you have it, kindly give me a wave. We acknowledge your presence, and please kindly join us upstage here for the panel discussion. Kindly join us upstage here. So we have Mr. Edward Opon Kosi with us. Thank you for being seated. Mrs. Josephine Ekuba Timte, if you are here, can you give me a wave? All right, please kindly join us upstage here. Let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. We already have Mr. Peter Maunu Tope here already, and then Doctor has also been seated. Very good. So we hand over this section, which is question time. I'm sure you are wondering what are the uses of mathematics and many more. So hand over this section to Mami Boama to take us through. And if you have any other question you would like to ask, kindly just write it down, give it to any of the ushers around. It will get to us for the panelists to address. Mami, okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC, and a very good afternoon to you all. So yes, since my panel members have been introduced already, we shall zoom in for the discussion session. My name once again is Mame Boama Puku, and I'm the moderator for this session. So we're going to have the discussion, and then if you have a question, you kindly note it down, and then after the discussion, we will give time for you to ask whatever questions that you may have. Thank you very much. So yes, as we all may be aware, mathematics is one of the core subjects that is studied in our schools. So from the basic school through to the senior high school, and even in the universities or tertiary, if I should put it, math is one of the core subjects. Yes, so we all know that mathematics is one of the core subjects that is studied in the basic schools through to tertiary. Now, I would want to find out from Mr. Mawuno, that what is the significance of mathematics as a core subject for the disciplines? That's the question I have. What's the significance of it as a core subject for the disciplines? Mr. Mawuno will help us with that question.
Thank you very much. Mathematics being a core subject in all the disciplines at the basic level, and even the secondary school and then at the tertiary level, is very, very important, because from what we have heard from the various speakers, we can see that we cannot run away from mathematics. In everything that we do, we do some mathematics. At times knowingly or unknowingly, we do it. Our great grandfathers who did not go through the formal education, they did a lot of mathematics. So we can see that in their daily lives, they do calculate, they measure distances, and they understand them in their own ways. So that is why in the curriculum, it is very, very important that children are taught mathematics. So from KG up to any other level, you have to pass through mathematics. If you don't pass through mathematics, it will be difficult for you. There were times before this free SHS came, a lot of school students were dropouts. Some because they failed mathematics and so on. Others who want to go and learn trade. They go there, they cannot do simple measurements. Someone want to be a seamstress, tailor. You have to measure. You do counting. If you don't know how to measure, you are going to lose customers. And also, before you are even recruited or taken as an apprentice, your master wants to know whether you can measure simple things. So when the junior secondary school system came to help people so that after JHS, they will be able to at least have knowledge of simple measurements, counting, and so on. So that whether you want to be a mason, whatever trade that you want to learn, you will not find it difficult when you want to be employed there, so that you will study in that area. So you can see that we need mathematics in everything that we want to do. That is why it is part of the core subject. You have to pass it. You have to pass that subject so that when you move forward, whether you are going to do economics, engineering, even in English, mathematics is there. So you need to know those fundamentals and be able to build upon it. Without that, it will be difficult for you to move forward.
It is very interesting. It is interesting because I remember back then in school, we used to have this mental every morning. Our master used to call it Anupakuku. when the question is on the board and you can't answer, before he gets to you, just do this, and then he gives it to you, pop, 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 then he goes. I mean, that was my struggle. So sometimes, early morning, I'm sick. Before he comes, my head is on the table. When he asks, oh, sir, please, I'm not feeling well. That was my struggle. I'd like to find out from Mr. Kusi and Madam Ikuba. Do you also have struggles like that? And how do you survive these struggles? So Mr. Kusi will help us first, and after that, Madam Ikuba. What were your struggles? Do you have any struggles with mathematics? And then how did you survive them? So it's a struggle, though. It's a struggle.
Thank you so much. Indeed, it was a struggle for some of my colleagues. Fortunately for me, it wasn't. And I remember one of the speakers earlier mentioned that through that he had a lot of friends. Yes, because of that exceptional grace that I had with mathematics. I was almost everyone's favorite. Everyone was my friend. Everyone wanted to sit next to me because automatically they know that once I get it right, I'll help them to also get it right. So anytime I was moving, I had about 3 or 4 guys with me, and I also became the ladies' man because automatically they would come to me to teach them. So that was my experience with mathematics growing up. Thank you so much.
Interesting experience. Okay, so Madam Ekuba, kindly help us. You also have your struggles.
Thank you. Honestly, I didn't struggle with mathematics.
Wow, Charlie.
Growing up, my mom had always told me, Ekuba, to perform well in other subjects, then you should first do well in mathematics. So it's like it was a constant ritual. Every day you had to solve math questions at home, whether you like it or whether you're happy with it or not, you have to do it. So what I realized was constantly practicing it. Naturally, I developed the interest in the
That's an apple, constantly practicing it. That's an apple for you.
Yeah, so, and one thing they also told me was those who are excelling in maths are no special people. They are ordinary people like you. So once you are determined and you want to tell yourself, this is what I want to be in future and I need maths to do it, there's nothing you can do if you decide to work on it. Thank you.
Okay. This brings me to the next question. You know, so when we're moving to senior high schools, most of our people based on their ability in mathematics to determine the course they're going to do in the senior high school. So for example, those that claim they were not good in maths say, I'm going to home economics, I'm going to do home economics because my maths is not good. Then those that are good at mathematics, they'll push them, go and do science, go and do this. Now, our STEM coordinator, Mr. Mawuno, let me ask you again. Do you think mathematics should continue as a prerequisite for further education? Do you think mathematics should still continue as a prerequisite for further education?
Yes. You see, like you said, in school, when those of us who went to Form 5, Form 3, then you are going to select your main area. Either you go to science, maths, science, arts, and the rest, business. So those who do not do well in mathematics, you see all of them, oh, we are going to arts, we are going to business. Fine, you will go and you start your business class lessons, and then you reach a certain portion, then you see that there is differentiation and integration there.
Let me see.
You see it?
Yes.
Then you say, how can I do this? So when you run away from it, one speaker said, you cannot run away from mathematics. It is in everything that we do. So that's why they don't want us to suffer like that. So it should be a prerequisite so that we pass it. And then take that fear out of us so that when we face it in subsequent areas, we will have that freeness of heart to be able to do our course and not go and then beg somebody to go and be doing the calculation for us.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So yes, our medical doctor. Let me ask you this question. So yes, you all understand that from the basic school you need to pass your mathematics. You need to get it right. Okay, now when it comes to after you have gone through all of that and you have ended as a medical doctor, do you still apply mathematics in the field of health? Is it applied?
All right. Yes, because and as I'm saying, mathematics is applied in all spheres of discipline, not just a medical doctor, but even in the health profession, the nurses apply mathematics, the pharmacists, the radiologists, the radiographers, all these people apply mathematics. Now, let us start this way. A typical patient enters the hospital. He or she goes to the OPD. Okay, they will check the blood pressure, and these are numbers. Okay, they will check the temperature. These are numbers. They will check the weight, the height, in order to calculate what we call BMI. And BMI enables you to define a term we call obesity. And obesity tells you whether you are overweight, you are overweight, or your weight is of the right size. I mean, different, ranges and what it means in terms of the medical implications. You see the doctor talks to you, finds out how many days have you been ill, because the number of days you've been ill gives us an impression of disease severity. Okay. Apart from that, the doctor will also write some prescription for you. Now, this prescription, you take it to the pharmacy. The pharmacist looks at the prescriptions and then gives you the drugs according to the dose that you are supposed to take. So if you have, let's say, malaria, you are to take an anti-malarial drug. Based on your age, based on your weight, okay, you are given a particular dose, which is a number. So all these are day-to-day mathematical applications. All right. Even when you go to the lab people will also take sample, even though they are taking your blood, but they will estimate some figures. So if you have to do, let's say, a liver function test, all right, the liver function test, the results are quoted in figures, and these figures comes with reference ranges. Even the mode of operation of the medical equipment, there are lots of mathematical derivatives in there. All right. So, for example, the BP machine. All right. You have some mathematical, formulas that have been put in there in order to give you the figures. The lab machine, you have a lot of mathematical formulas in there to give you figures.
Well, let me ask this quick one. Do you need to understand all of that? The mathematics behind those things as well?
Yes, because in the training, for example, in the training process, you need, as a professional, as a lab professional, you need to be able to understand why is what. Okay, so you need to have the mathematical understanding in order to be able to appreciate whatever. And I'll share a typical story. In order for you to be able to qualify to do medicine, okay, you need to do chemistry, you need to do physics, and these two subjects, they have a very strong mathematical base. And in medical school, before you can enter the medical school, let's say from University of Ghana, in my time we did biological science, which was a 2-year course, and afterwards, based on your grade, you get entry into medical school. Before you are able to even have that grade, you need to be able to pass some core subjects, and one key subject was analytical chemistry. And analytical chemistry is purely mathematics. Another thing too was physics. It's also purely mathematics. And even in the practice, we do, it sounds like I'm talking too much, but even in the practice, okay, now you have what we call hemodynamics. Well, the engineers here will relate. Fluid dynamics, thermodynamics. Okay,
Yes,
you
yes.
see all these principles in medicine. So,
Interesting.
I am not surprised if we say that mathematics actually unite us, because these principles are in all fields, even in medical research. We can say on and on and on, but I'm sure subsequent questions you'll be able to address. Thank
Okay,
you very
Mr.
much.
Cardi, tell us something. So for you two in your field, do you have thermodynamics or something showing up? How is mathematics applied in your field as a branch manager? Anyway, Mr. Cardi is the branch manager for United Bank of Africa, UBA Takwa branch. So tell us something. And then do you think mathematics as a whole can help in the economic development of our country, Ghana?
I want to talk about how mathematics unites us. Like when I was delivering my address, I talk about one observe the pattern. Like if an engineer or a constructor or any technology want to put up a structure, he has the artisanal work, but has to calculate the height of the structure, the foundation, what should go down, the length of the room. All these things you need the help of a mathematician, or you need a concept of mathematics. As for the artistic work, the art man can design the work, but without the mathematics, he cannot find the actual dimension of the structure. And that is the situation where arts and mathematics combine. Because the mathematicians will get the figures all right, the artistic man will now get the artwork, and the engineer or whoever should put up the structure also bring the structure together. This is a situation where must bring the three of the expertise together. And that is why we say mathematics unites.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. So yes, Mr. Cardi, kindly help us.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to add a little to what you just said. I'm Edward. Let me just share one simple example with you. You have a mine, the geologists will come and do their survey, the mining engineers will come and do the mark out, the processing manager will also tell us the powder factor expected, mill to mine to mill ratios, and the recovery rates. At the end of the day, the finance manager will also come and sit down and talk about the cost of sales or cost of mining against the expected profits at the end of the day. The safety personnel will also come and say, one meeting, I'm sorry, I'm talking about one meeting. All these people are in that meeting. The safety manager too will be there to talk about the need to put in certain safety measures to ensure the safety of the personnel, the expense that is going to be incurred, the capital expenditure to be pumped into it. HR manager is talking about the personnel expenses. You have another one that is the overall managing director, who is accountable to the business, sitting down and listening to all these figures. At the end of the day, he now has to decide, is this business indeed worth our while? He can only do this if he has the right figures to analyze. He can only do this when everyone in there has done their due diligence. And trust me, you are looking at different scopes of people. Different scopes of people. I'm sorry, I even forgot one person. The community relations and public communications officer is also there, talking about what do you call it? The corporate social responsibility. Thank you, which is also a cost to the organization. At the end of the day, when the MD decides, the business investors also have to decide, is this worth we pumping our money into it? So at the end of the day, as the dean mentioned, mathematics unite us. It's everywhere. If I'm Francophone, you are Spanish, you are English, you are Fanti, you are whatsoever, Chinese, whatsoever. Figures are figures. at the end of the day, if we are spending $1 million and we are going to get $2.5 million, obviously I would say, Agbena, but if at the end of the day I look at the figures and I'm seeing $1 million as against a recovery of $800,000, no, I can't justify this. Thank you so much.
So we'll delve more into how mathematics unites, but before then, we'd love to hear from Mr. Cardi. So how
Sorry, I didn't get your point.
Okay, so we want to find out how mathematics can help in the economic development of our country. And then
Okay.
how math is important to your field as a branch manager.
Thank you very much. I'm a statistician, so I'm already in mathematics.
Oh, interesting.
And like we have been saying, you can relate mathematics to all spheres, and not only that, to all professions and to all vocations. And it has been well articulated by people that spoke before me, all the areas where you cannot avoid mathematics. When we talk about development of a nation, we'll be trying to measure the growth, especially economic growth of the nation. At that point, probably we'll be talking about the GDP, gross domestic product. We'll talk about per capita income and things like that. These are figures that we use to talk about the development of a nation. And if these figures are low, we begin to task our economists on how we can improve on such figures, GDP, per capita income. When we put all these together, we can then talk about economic development of our nation. So at that point, we can now be transmitting the outcome of our analysis to people on the field, people in the mines, in special industries, in factories, even in the market, because all these will count into our GDP. Even people who are giving us services that we can quantify, So basic figures in economics will go a long way to help us to talk about the development of our nation. And let me quickly use the opportunity of holding the microphone to do a short intervention about people finding mathematics difficult. And I'll do that by giving a short story of one mathematician in Nigeria, Chike Obi. Chike Obi, at a point in time, scored 12% in mathematics in secondary school. So children, if you have been scoring low marks in mathematics, don't think that you can wake up and later become either a certified mathematician or a certificated mathematician in future. You can still wake up. You see, the name that I mentioned, Chike Obi, is similar to Alote in Ghana. One professor, Alote, in Ghana. Chike Obi was, because of his way of analyzing social and socio-political issues, bringing them down to mathematics and then solving, and later translating into what can be easily understood by people. People felt he was the first professor of mathematics in Nigeria, whereas he wasn't. So we should not run away or shy away from mathematics. Let's keep working mathematics. Children, I promise you, by the time you work mathematics every day, you do better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So yes, we will find out some tips and tricks on how we can study mathematics, how we can understand and excel in mathematics as well. But before then, we would ask Madam Ekuba. She is a food scientist. So how is mathematics important in your field? Tell us something. Please hold. So after Madam Ekuba's response, we will open the floor for questions. If you have any question, you raise your hand and you ask the question. Yes.
In food science, we use mathematics every day. Personally, I see mathematics to be a way of life, or mathematics is life. In food, from childhood to adulthood and even at your old age, you still play around mathematics in food. Let's say in the morning, as a child, growing up, remember our teachers used apples in teaching us mathematics, fractions, shapes. So you see, it's an important aspect to mathematics. You take something like pineapple or apple. When you are talking about certain concepts in mathematics, like symmetry, apple has all its sides being symmetrical. When I talk of symmetry, like mirror images of objects. So when you cut it into two, you realize that. And even in baking, we use a lot of mathematics in calculating our percentages, in calculating the recipes, and even in pie. You know, maths, food explains pie in a sense. You know, the formula for pie is the circumference over diameter, right? And then, so when you are baking pie, you know, you first cut your pie in a circular shape. So that is your circumference. And then after filling your pie, you fold it and you press it. So that's the diameter. So anytime you are eating pie, you should be happy that you are a mathematician.
Anyway, today is also the pie day, so wow. Interesting analysis. Interesting.
And then secondly, we now all of us enjoy pizza.
Yes.
And then when we are eating pizza, see how pizza looks. It's round, right? So let's take the radius of the pizza to be Z, okay? And then you know the volume of a circular object is what? You know, pi r squared h. So if we are saying the radius of a pizza is Z, and then the height of a pizza is A, then if you want to calculate the volume of pizza, is pi Z squared A. And that is P times I times Z times Z times A. So that's mathematics is good for you.
Interesting analysis right there. Wow.
Secondly, when you are growing up, at a certain stage, you realize that no, certain things are not good for you to eat. Maybe you are getting old, diabetes and other things. So now you have to be looking at healthy plates or healthy ways of eating. Now you say your healthy plates of meal should be 50% of maybe fruits and vegetables, 25% of carbohydrates, 25% of proteins, and that is figures, that is mathematics. With it's a lot.
Wow,
so
wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. But because of our time, there are lots of questions I would have loved to ask. But then because of time, we are opening the floor for your questions. So audience, please, if you have a question, just raise your hand. The microphone will come to you and then you ask your question. Any question from Fiasek? Tasco? All right, so there's a hand up. Mr. MC, kindly help us. There's a hand up.
Good afternoon. My question is very simple. The question is this. I have tried studying mathematics. My question is very simple, and the question goes like this. I've tried studying mathematics, but all the time I don't do well. They say continue practicing. I've been practicing, but still the grades are not coming up as I wanted. How do I go about it?
How do you go about it? Thank you. Can we have another question so we add up? Then our panel. Okay, there's a hand up. Yes, Madam MC. Help us.
My question is, maths, we are saying unite, and that's it. That's the truth. But most of us, we grow up being afraid of mathematics. Instead of we coming together as mathematicians, some do run away from mathematics. And I can see that maybe from the onset, we didn't change our mindset to meet the target set. I'm saying this because You go to most of the private school or most of our basic schools, teachers who have issues with mathematics are those who are building the foundation of our children. So my question is, as academians, what are we doing to make sure the foundation of our children, the youth who are coming, the foundation in mathematics will be built well? Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for your question.
So please, if you have a question, you can kindly come and sit here so that we can take that. That will be very efficient for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so whilst we answer the first two questions, if you have a question, kindly come and sit in front. So our medical doctor will help us with the first question, constant practice, and still not getting it. How do I go about it? Then Mr. Maunu will help us with the second question.
Thank you very much. So, constant practice, you are not getting it. I think, well, let me start by sharing my experience. So, when I was in, now they call it senior high school, initially, and one thing about my senior high school days was that we didn't have a constant maths teacher. So, in terms of the mathematical questions, I was having some bit of struggle along the line. But one thing I noticed was that when we got a constant teacher, the teacher was very diligent to get us to understand the principles. So I think, well, practice is good, but you need to do extra work to understand the principles. Why a particular thing is what. Okay, so and that will also depend on the kind of teacher that you have. So one key problem that a lot of us have, and especially in the mathematical world, one key issue is how well are our mathematics teachers able to dissect the mathematical concept in very simple terms for people to relate and to understand. So part of addressing your question is also going to sit with the teachers or the people who are teaching the mathematics to get people to understand mathematics in lay terms so that they will be able to solve the problems that they encounter when the questions come up. The other thing is that, well, constant practice, you can't do away with it, because one thing is that if you solve a particular question and then you forget about it, I mean, and you don't keep solving. And one thing about maths is that the more you do, the better you are, okay? And sometimes the questions are twisted. You know, instead of saying find X, next time they will say find Y. And if you are not also trying your hands on different kind of questions, then that becomes difficult. But I think that more importantly, you need to identify somebody, be it a teacher, be it a colleague, who can help you break down the principles and understand them very well, because you need to work it out from first principles. If you don't get it that way, then it becomes a challenge. Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Maule, kindly help us with the second question.
Just a short addition to what Dr. said. If you are not well and you go to a doctor, they will place you on medication. Even if you are not well again, it's still on medication. They may change your drugs. So the same thing, you will keep practicing. That one is basic. You just have to keep practicing. But the environment is also important. Perhaps you are practicing very close to your television. Your attention is, diverted in a way, and the practice is not that diligent. That will affect the outcome of your performance. And you may also consider the type of materials that you are using. The type of materials, are they helpful one, in doing this practice? Because at elementary stage, when you want to teach certain topics, they will tell you pictorial and grammatic ways of teaching will help a lot, and then you continue building on that. So materials that we use for practice is also important. And also at this point in time, the assistance of our teachers, like he said, is also very, very important. I know some teachers who are ready to explain, for you, even if you keep asking questions that may sound unreasonable or foolish, they will tell you it's not foolish, and they will still continue to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Sorry to just chip in this. I like what he just said about finding ways of innovative ways of going about the repeated learning of the subject. One subject that I wasn't really good with growing up was English. I found it very hard spelling mathematics. So do you know how I used to spell mathematics? I had a rhyme. Master and teacher have eaten my apple twice in class 6. So when I recite that rhyme, I'll write the very first letters of each word, and it helps me spell mathematics. These are all fun, innovative ways of going about a difficult subject. Thank you so much.
Mommy, I have a set of.
There's a question, okay?
Yes, please.
But then quickly, Mr. Maunu will help us with the question that was asked by our brother, the poet.
Yes, you are talking about teachers. The training of teachers at the various colleges of education. Things have changed, and we are no more in the times that we lack mathematics teachers. But this time, a lot of teachers have upgraded themselves so that those who move up, they are given the mantle to handle mathematics in our schools. So as a teacher, you have to learn the modern strategies that we use in teaching mathematics. Children like playing, so the curriculum has been designed so that we use various strategies to teach mathematics. That's what we are doing now, so that when you go to a class and the teacher is just teaching from his head without any activities involved. So as a teacher, when you are going to teach, you must know the challenges that your students are having, and then you prepare well for that. And as you prepare, today we have the internet that you can go there and then research. How do I teach this? So this is what teachers today should be doing, and in the syllabus or the activities. And when we do that, those who fear mathematics will be able, and then learn the subject. There are people who have studied it.
Very well, okay, that's fine. That's good news. So yes, we pick our very last question.
I'm a mathematics student at UMath SRI Chicago, offering my first degree in mathematics.
Can you take the mask off?
Please, is it true that mathematical jobs are few in Ghana, and as a result, you could only teach or be rendered unemployed?
Interesting question. Okay, so two
Let me
questions.
just add so that we can just be done with it. Is it
All right.
possible?
How many questions do you have there?
I have two.
Two questions, okay.
Yeah, this one is saying that in calculating the determinant of a 2x2 or a 3x3 matrix, to get, say, a constant like 6, what is the implication or explanation in a banking room? So what is the relevance of all these things in a banking room?
In a banking room.
Or in a banking sector?
I guess we start.
Somebody is also asking that what are the prerequisites for a mathematician to get employed in the mining industry? And he's asking that do they even accept first year degree BSc in mathematics at all in the mines? So, yeah.
So the question about the mines. Mr. Kusi will help us with a question about the mines. Then Mr. Maunu will help us with the question about Mr. Kadi will help us with a question about relevance of matrix when it comes to the banking sector. Then the question about securing a job because he's doing a BSc in mathematics will be helped by Mr. Mawuno. Right? Okay, yeah, so the first question.
Thank you very much for that question and the opportunity to respond to that question. I would first and foremost like to use myself as an example. I am currently the sales and supply chain manager for Solar Nitro Ghana Limited. We are also an explosives service provider. You look at the position I just mentioned. Now, this is my academic credentials I'm holding. I'm a materials engineer, first degree from KNUST, and an MSc holder from University of Engineering. So now, these two. How does mathematics get you employed in the mining industry? This is very, very simple. Every job that you apply for, you need to understand that the role with an MSc in mathematics, all you need to do is to identify the role you are applying to your problem. You are looking for X. Here is how you find X. And trust me, the job will be yours. And all these can be well achieved when you understand the basic mathematical principles behind the core of our operations. Thank you so much.
Your question about if you have a first degree in mathematics, where do you divert to? I want to tell you that the Vice Chancellor recently told us about new programs that will be coming up here. People from even commercial, but they have basic exposure in sciences, that they can come for engineering courses. You know, nations are changing. You see, society is dynamic. We are no longer rigid. You know, you begin to look at what you need in a nation. How do you raise people? So it's just a question of you diverting, and then we build your interest in that area. But let me tell you, even with your mathematics, you can still go to other disciplines like computer science. I know of some of our students that read mathematics first degree, but they went ahead for higher degrees in computer science, you know, programming, and they were actually doing well. You can, you know, divert to engineering and related courses. Even banking, you know, you are relevant in that area. And back to matrix. Let me start by telling you what a matrix is. It is just an arrangement of elements in rectangular shape. This, your rectangle at times may be a square, you know. You arrange elements in that shape. We also have what we call vector, which may be arrangement of elements along just one column or along a row. We can now pick one element, which we call a scalar. You see, all these that we have, we are interested in optimizing the way we realize them. The way you realize your matrix, you want to see how you can optimize it. But matrix, do I say algebra now, or matrix analysis, we have some particular problem in being optimized directly. You now need to look for something to represent it. So in representing that, you may choose determinants. Some may choose what we call trace. All these scalar values are what we now optimize and will now be a representative of that matrix that you have. Taking it to banking, like we said, you can arrange elements that you get, you know, in matrix form. Probably you are taking, you are looking at arrival time into banks. You pick some days, you know, within a week, maybe 20 days, and you take the number of arrivals for 20 days in that month, you now arrange these 20, maybe 4 by 5. You want to get a representation of that arrival time, you know, and you do the analysis, find the determinant, and use the determinant to represent, you know, what you want to talk about this. There are a lot of concepts in mathematics that by now we may not be able to easily find physical application to them. Just on Friday, my brother there, Ziegler, defended his PhD, and people were asking me, can't he write all this in the way that people will understand? And we were interacting. That look, this is your topology. They call it topology. When you see topology, you want to abandon the class of mathematics and say, what are they saying? Because it will involve letters, lot more than figures. But we are saying that with time, people will begin to see the essence of this. And I will tell you this, on Saturday, when the students now came and they were to share nose mask, somebody then said, we are doing one-to-one mapping. You can see now, that's part of the topology and the abstract algebra that we are talking about. So with time, all these abstract things, so to speak, will find relevance in the physical world. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Mr. Mo will help us with the last. Okay, well, yes, so Madam Ekuba, help us.
I would like to share an experience. Back in school, we did polynomials, first and second order polynomials. So I was trying to prepare BISAB. We all know BISAB, Sobolo. And then I came up, I was using response surface methodology. The mathematicians would understand in developing an equation for the preparation of the Sobolo.
What's Sobolo?
Yes, BISAB, the BISAB drink. So in this, you would know that you have to look for certain things like titratable acidity, your pH. So it's like they are all mathematics, they are all figures. So if your pH is so low, then it means that the BISAB will become so acidic, no one can take it. So it means you have to adjust it. Looking at the color, if it's so faint, we are taking the BISAB because of the antioxidants we get in BISAB. So if the color of your BISAB is so faint, then it means you are not getting anything, any nutritional benefits. And it's all mathematics. And we get all these things from equations and product optimization in food. So mathematics is very necessary.
Interesting. Indeed, mathematics unites. Wow. So in all of these discussions, we've also learned of 3 tips to study mathematics: constant practice, seek help, and then be conscious about your environment. Unfortunately, the panel discussion will come to an end at this juncture so that we can continue with the rest of the program. Thank you very much for your attention.
Please, can you put your hands together for them? Can you put your hands together for them? I know by now you'll be getting tired. We are about closing. But before then, if this were to be a classroom, would have just organized a short exercise or quiz to see what you've learned from the panel discussion. Shall we? A short quiz. So I want to invite Mr. Albert Boabin to tell us, if I want to do mathematics first degree, what are the requirements? What did I need to do mathematics? And probably after doing it, what next? As Mr. Boabin is preparing, I want to invite a student from UBAS to tell us briefly some application of mathematics in health sector precisely. So if UBAS students are here, whilst Mr. Boabin is preparing his slides probably. Okay, UBAS is not ready. So Mr. Boabin, you can. Oh, University Basics too. Okay. Or is it because I didn't mention your name? Amanda. Yes. Sorry for that. Amanda. A short one whilst Mr. Boabin prepared his slide for the presentation.
Good afternoon. IDM. IDM. Okay. So I am going to recite a poem on the applications of mathematics in healthcare. And the title of my poem is Comer's Cause. Waking up from a place as dark as the rock Delos Muchachos Observatory, I stared sadly into space, wondering how I ended up in what seemed like a hospital bed. Ignorance staring right into my eyes as though it was mocking me. Titaku flashbacks fade deeply away. It turns out I was given the wrong medications at the wrong time. All I remember was my heart racing so fast. My body as hot as mercury, didn't think I'd last on yet fast. The sphygmomanometer, measuring my blood pressure in millimeters of mercury. The electrocardiograph machine to record the game my heart was playing. Thermometric liquid expanding past calibrations to know how hot mercury was. Fascinating. All these need to be measured, including weight and mass, all possible thanks to maths. Measurements taken wrongly, making administration of medications messed up. Time and quantity for taking in medications wrongly prescribed. Realizing this after waking up from coma, I know that my fate depended on mathematics. Learning that even in hell, mathematics will baffle me. He that doubts should hear this. Statistics, an essential aspect of healthcare. Doctors discussing among themselves the causes and the statistics of a patient in surgery. Dimensions needful when reading x-rays, using 3D calculations to read them. Hematocrits, knowing the ratio of red blood cells to the total volume of blood in the body by centrifugation. Electroencephalography, measuring microscopic activities of the surface layer of the brain underneath cannot be measured without mathematics. Knowing all of this, it is clear, I can see it, it is written boldly, that mathematics is life. Mathematics makes us thrive. Mathematics unites us, and mathematics will always be life. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Kabina Sapongwama, and the title of my poem is The Blank Paper. The weather was pretty mild. I could see the rain and sunshine battling it out, and it seemed as though the rainbow was more than 7. I was on the couch on floor 11. Mr. Simpri's homework is such a hard nut. How on earth could there be maths in medicine? The blank paper word with a keen stare. What do red blood cells have to do with algebra? Thoughts proved hard to crystallize on paper. Thoughts proved hard to crystallize on paper. Did you know what? The blank paper queried. Right dosage sum up to good health, and right maths bets right dosage. The milligram of drug suits this weighty patient. Maths does the magic. I'm agile in my diagnosis and prognosis. A swelling eye here, a migraine there. Many diseases have that. I'll use eliminations to rule out far-fetched ones. On the surgery table, the jugular vein doesn't shout. I'm here, operate on me. It takes discovering right angles of inclination. To other organs, they dig deep down to make artificial organs cautious of details. A paper giving me a thoughtful ambience, serving me in the mild radiance of the weather. There came the stare again by the blank paper. I hadn't written anything at all. Thoughts came racing fast where imaginations collided. Thank you.
Let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. These are students from the University Basic School. Thank you so much for that poem. We want to invite Mr. Albert Boabin whilst our chairman gets ready to give us a closing remark.
Hello, Professor Chairman. On behalf of the Department of Mathematical Sciences, I am extremely humbled to share with you
the mathematics program that is being offered in this university. And for this presentation, I'll be touching more on why we need to study mathematics, and specifically why in UMath. Now, since the inception of the International Day of Mathematics, we've heard so many things about mathematics, the importance of mathematics, and specifically, we've seen that mathematics is applicable in almost every industry today, be it from science and technology to business, retail, healthcare, engineering, even governance, and more. But one thing is making all this possible. That is, mathematics has one key element. That is the ability to critically think issues and also our problem-solving skills. So, as a university guided by a philosophy that seeks to train students who are capable of appreciating good social and moral values, and also being able to provide useful professional services to our allied industries, the BSc Mathematics, which is being offered in UMath, has been carefully designed to expose our students to this set of skills. So for our courses in here, our students are being exposed to reasoning, analysis, decision-making, and above all, combining all this, they should be able to solve any problem that comes as a result as they work in the industry. For our students who just started the program, I'm sure that by now you may not have seen the full picture of the mathematics program, but I'm here to tell you today that the field of mathematics becomes especially valuable is in the graduates' ability to apply mathematical concepts to solving problems once they put their mind to it. That is to say that once you have these requisite skills, perhaps after graduation, you guys will be able to apply this mathematical concept because one, we've given you a very strong logical skills and decomposition skills. You guys are very organized, and the chances of any mathematician solving bigger problems is really high once you come to the industry. So with this said, let's see where our BSc Mathematics can take you after you are done with the program. Our program is such that our graduates normally would enter into two distinct career fields. That is, some may take job roles as researchers in mathematics, whilst others too will take various disciplines once it comes to the industry. And a typical example of such a person is the popular Professor Alute, which I believe you are all familiar with. Now, he was a lecturer in KNUST, and aside that, also had industry relations, of which he provided professional services for. We are also privileged today to have some graduates from the department who are currently working in the industry. So permit me, Mr. Johnson Egan, please, can you give us a wave? Mr. Habib, are you all here? Great. All these are mass graduates currently working in the financial sector. So with this, industry professionals are highly interested in brains that can bring up mathematics and as well solve mathematical related problems. Now, as graduates with degrees in mathematics, the opportunities out there are so great that all this is being limited by your interest that you find yourself in. For instance, if you happen to graduate with mathematics and you also have an interest in, let's say, technology, you can think of working within the technology space, where you can become a computer programmer, software developer, a data scientist, as we've seen in those pictures up there. Now, also someone who's interested in business may think of taking jobs when it comes to being an auditor or even a financial analyst. Someone who is interested in medicals or medical sciences can also take jobs in medicals, as our panel discussion was said. So with all this, before you go through this mathematics program, there's one thing I would like you to think about, that the mathematics that you are pursuing, think about an area that interests you, that is very useful to you. Then think of how you can apply your mathematics in that area. So to serve as a guide, I've listed so many areas in which you can think about, right from engineering to statistics, cryptography, so many of them, of which you can pursue in future. And also as a guide, we've listed some of the opportunities that is available to you as math lovers in future. So, now to the main theme of the day. How do you get to enroll in mathematics in UMath? First of all, you would have to have credit passes, that is A1 to C6, in some specific subjects, which I'm going to outline very soon. First, it is required that you have to pass 3 courses. That is the core courses, the core subject. That is the English language, mathematics, and integrated science. So credit pass of A1 to C6. And now let's look at the electives. With the electives, elective mathematics is a key subject in here. So we require that all of our students should pass that. Also, physics, chemistry, economics, accounting, and management. Once you pass the elective maths and you are able to pass any of these 2 electives, you qualify to gain admission to read BSc in this university. Now, for our ladies, there is a special dispensation for you. There's a policy in UMath called the gender mainstreaming policy, which gives some level of, should I say, allowance to ladies who apply to programs in UMath. So if you are a lady here who is interested in pursuing any of our courses, there is this preference that is being given to you as a lady. So I'll encourage all of our ladies here to apply for our programs here in UMath. Now, the department is thinking of extending its reach to other students, not only for science students. I believe that in the next academic year, this program will be out, and we are thinking of extending our programs to not only general science students, but also to general arts students, as well as business students. So in the case of the general arts students, we require that you take the elective maths and also have passes for economics and geography. For business students, e-maths is always a constant, and you could pass any of these 2. That is financial accounting, economics, or cost accounting. Once you're able to pass through this, you are likely to get admission in UMath. Now, to summarize everything, mathematics is very important, very useful, and as well rewarding. And in this 21st century, we need more mathematicians on board, because there are so many areas in which you guys could fit into. And UMath BSc Mathematics is just a stepping stone for you to reach your highest pivots in your world of job. So, I have this last statement for you, which says that as a student, all that you have to think now is how you are going to transfer your math skills to something that is interesting and very useful to you. And also ask yourself that where your interest lies and how a variety of industries could benefit from technical people such as yourself. So on this note, thank you so much for this presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bobbing. UMass is a nice place to study, so do well to come here. Mr. Chairman, please, with your kind permission, we have a few schools with some poetry recitals. We want to give them a few minutes to do that. Is that possible? Please? Okay, thank you. So I want to call Elijah Taylor and Issa Mohammed of Goldfields Schools Complex. I also want to call Adraina Aite of Dadwin School. Adraina, please come and sit in front here for me. And then I will call David Boafo of Bright Benwick Academy School. So Adraina and David, please kindly come and sit in front. When Goldfields is done, we can take your poetry recital. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, our poem is entitled The Application of Mathematics in Engineering. I would like to use this opportunity to thank you all for giving us the platform to share our poem with you. I go by the name Aisha Mohammed and
Elijah Taylor. Engineer, engineer, engineer. Who is an engineer?
An engineer is someone who uses scientific principles to build and design machines, structures, or other items such as buildings, roads, vehicles, tunnels, and many more.
In engineering, the interpretation and solution of certain problems requires the mathematical models such as statistics, algebra, equations, calculus, and trigonometry.
In the early 20th century, the teaching of mathematics in engineering was addressed, making mathematics one of the main requirements needed to study engineering.
Can an engineer build a multi-story building without an analysis of stress and strain factors?
Thus is done through the application of mathematics. Have you heard or seen the Adome Bridge in Akosombo built by William Brown? A suspension bridge, an engineer needs a thorough analysis of forces acting on each and every part of it. This cannot be eyeballed. It was done through the application of equations, calculus, and trigonometry. These are all mathematical topics.
Look at the lighting systems here. Can anyone build a circuit without a comprehensive knowledge about voltage and resistance through all components? All these are applications of mathematics.
Not forgetting miners, the mixing of chemicals to extract minerals, mainly gold, is done through the application of mathematics.
Mathematics, I say, is the language of engineering.
I repeat, mathematics is the language of engineering.
So if you can't speak mathematics, you cannot become an engineer.
We would therefore encourage all students to take the study of mathematics very serious.
Thank you.
IDM 2022. I can't hear you. IDM 2022. Give me a place to stand and a level long enough, and I will move the wall. Eureka! Eureka! I have found it! I have found it! Supposed to have been his cry, jumping naked from his bath and running in the street, excited by a discovery. That is, Archimedes of Syracuse, the father of mathematics and a great mathematician of all times. You may find yourself wondering what use we have for some of the knowledge we obtained from math class in school. Mathematics is not just a subject on our timetable, but a tool we use in everyday life. Take it or leave it, mathematics is one of the first things you learn in life. From the advent of civilization, man learned to count using beads and stones, and to date, our daily transactions involve mathematical operations. Paying bills, eating, driving, just to mention a few. Dare me mention any activity in life, and I will tell you its mathematical application. Oh yes, mathematics. What a subject to study in life. Oh, I nearly forgot about this deadly but important mode of transportation that is made possible by the power of mathematics. I mean aviation. Oh, you were wondering how mathematics is being applied here too? Let me clear your doubt. Pilots must use geometry to calculate angles for taking off and landing. Planes have recommended angles for takeoff and landing. If a pilot descends at an angle that is too steep, it may lead to tail strike. This can damage the plane and may cause it to crash. Remember, mistakes are inevitable in aviation. It has been established experimentally that both lift and drag forces are proportional to the square of air velocity at the point of calculation. Solving this equation certainly requires math and involves concepts of applied mathematics such as computational geometry, numerical linear algebra, trigonometry, formula transposition, and vector mathematics are used to calculate distance, bearings, fuel consumption, and flight time. Knowledge of aircraft navigation is vital for safety. It requires some sort of mathematical concept and involves some applications which has to do with the start point, which is your point of departure, end point, which is your final destination, direction of travel, distance to travel, aircraft cruising speed, aircraft weight and balance capacity, etc. Mathematics is everywhere, and yet we seem not to recognize it. Why? Is it because it doesn't look like the math we studied in school? Mathematics may not teach us how to add love or subtract hate, but gives us hope that every problem, no matter how big or small it is, no matter how huge it seems like, has a solution. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Wafo from Bradibenic Academy, and my poem is entitled Mathematics in General. Mathematics is full of fun, with a lot to learn. Profits are added, whilst losses are subtracted. Degrees are multiplied, and percentages is divided. Geometry is full of mystery. Algebra has a big history. Integers as different as brothers. Lines are parallel. Angles are similar. Mathematics is necessary in life. Without it, it is difficult to survive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All too soon, we've come to the end of the program, and so we want to take the closing remarks from our chairman, Prof. Thank you.
Well, I believe that the next time around, if we start early, it will help all of us. Because we nearly missed such wonderful programs. So next time, let's watch the time factor. Don't run away from maths, but rather face it head on. Maths get you to concentrate. Mathematics is good for the brain. It helps you in your finances. It helps you to cook better because you need to understand the recipe and then do your measurements well. Mathematics is used in every discipline. Mathematics makes people popular. You get many friends from that. A lot of guys get many girlfriends from mathematics. Maths help you compare because you don't just go and buy. You have to compare. Go to compare.com before you buy anything. A good mathematician is a problem solver. And then don't give up on maths, but rather confront it and defeat it. It is because mathematics is defeatable. You can defeat mathematics. Maths is orderliness. Orderliness. And maths is music. Can you imagine all this? What again can we say? I want to say I equal to the organizers. This program is under the auspices of the Faculty of Engineering, of which I am the Dean for that faculty. And I want to praise myself because it's been a wonderful session. I think you have all enjoyed it. We thank all the sponsors for this wonderful time. In fact, without them, it wouldn't have been as good as this. And even after this, there is some small refreshment for you. So it's a fantastic day, and I want to wish all of us back well. Those who are traveling from near and far, I wish you safe journey to your destinations. And I believe that next year, this time around, we have got one sponsor already. Okay? The municipal assembly is in the equation now. And so you can imagine, if the seat of government is in the equation, then we don't have a problem, isn't it? And also know that every problem is solvable. Otherwise, it's not a problem. So there's nothing like a problem. Okay? So please, let's face everything in life with some positive endurance, and we will make it. I equal to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Want to ask all teachers here to kindly move to the back for the refreshment for their students. So if you're a teacher here, you kindly move to the back for the refreshment of that is after closing prayer, beg your pardon. We want to invite Miss Monica Veronica Crankson to give us a vote of thanks. Miss Monica Veronica Crankson to give us the vote of thanks. I think she's busy organizing the food. She's coming. Let's give her some pressure so that she can walk fast. Miss Veronica Crankson, for votes of thanks, take your steps according to Fibonacci sequence. She is a mathematician. Oh, give her pressure. Let the pressure be more. Mathematicians can handle pressure. Yeah.
Good afternoon to you all. Please, can I have my committee members join me upstage for the vote of thanks? All the committee members. A graceful and good afternoon to our cherished guests, teachers, students, all other protocol duly observed. As an organizing committee, it's our pleasure to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Mathematical Sciences, UMath, TAPA. Our most sincere thanks goes to the Almighty Father for a successful program. We would like to express our deep gratitude to the special guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Isaac Dasmani, for sparing time from your busy schedule to grace the occasion. And to all our panel members, we appreciate the valuable information you shared with us today. And we know that our love and desire for mathematics has been revived. To the Ghana Education Service, we say thank you for your enormous cooperation in the organization of this program. We are grateful to the Vice Chancellor of UMath, the management of UMath, the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, to our own head of department, and all lecturers for the moral support and guidance in the organization of this program. Now, to all teachers who are here, to all students over here, we appreciate your time with us today, and we know that you have benefited by being here. Once again, we thank you for coming to grace this occasion. God richly bless you.
Thank you, thank you. At this point, would humbly be on our feet. That is in the absence of any other thing. Okay. Thank you once again for coming. Thank you, the choir. We appreciate your presence. I want to invite Dr. Peter Nyako to give us a closing prayer. Right after the closing prayer, we'll have a photography section. So take some pictures with our professors and panelists, honorable panelists, before you leave. Let me remind you once again, all teachers kindly move to the back to take the refreshment for your students. You must student as well, your refreshments at the back, so when you close, just get there and take yours.
We are praying. O Lord our Father, most high and most holy, to whom we love and access by one Spirit through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we bless and adore you and give thanks to your holy name for your loving kindness and truth. We thank you for the lives of the invited guests, participating schools, and all gathered here. We thank you for the lives of all the resource persons for the panel discussion. We thank you for the wisdom and understanding that you provided to the people to perform excellently in all their endeavors. We thank you for taking us through this program to a successful end. As the participating schools, invited guests, and all gathered here travel back to their destinations, we pray for your traveling mercies for them back home. This we pray in Jesus' name. And now may the peace of God that surpasses all understanding keep your hearts and mind till he comes back. May you never miss your providential way. Go in the peace of the Most High God. Amen.
Amen. So we have a photography session quickly. This is the order. The committee will take first with the panelists, and then I'll mention the school after school. So when you hear your name, you just draw closer